Happy Easter, St. Anne Parish. Here we are Thursday during the octave of Easter, this span of time, 8 days in which the church tries desperately to celebrate with the same energy, excitement, enthusiasm that we did at Easter, which of course this year means something entirely different than it has done other years, which is true of everything, of course. But we celebrated Triduum, the great 3 days, and while they may not have been liturgies that we would have anticipated at any other time and would not have been celebrated in the way they were at other times, certainly not with the assembly of our community as we would hope and as we would expect at other times. They were still wonderful liturgies in their own right, and I hope for those of us who've experienced them online, that they have been rewarding in some way. And if you haven't had a chance to participate in our liturgies, I'd invite you to do that. You can still find them on our website, St. Anne, STANNES, wausau.org, stanswausau.org. You can find them we'll have them there until the weekend at some point. But I'd encourage you to check those out if you haven't been able to participate, especially in the Easter liturgy. If you don't want the entire Easter Vigil, go to 47 minutes in and you can have a nice celebration of Easter Mass just as it is there. Of course, the second Sunday of Easter concludes this octave of Easter, these 8 days, and as has been our custom, we will provide a link to our Sunday Mass celebration around 5 o'clock on Saturday. There is a worship aid to guide your prayer, to guide your worship, that's available on our website as well, so you can find that and print out copies so you can participate more faithfully as we go through that liturgy on Saturday night and Sunday. In many ways, we're kind of going back, getting into a life goes on mode here. We have some programming and things coming up. We have a program next Wednesday, April 22nd, for parents and families, a parent prayer encounter. Families who are in our Forming Young Disciples program, as well as with children in Newman Catholic schools, have already received or will receive links to help you tap into that prayer encounter on Wednesday, April 22nd. I'm also anticipating a Forming Older Disciples gathering. So we have Forming Young Disciples for children and teens. This would be for people who aren't children and teens, such as myself, or maybe you. That will be on Tuesday, April 28th at 6:30. It will be a Zoom gathering. So if you're not familiar with Zoom, you might become familiar with it by participating in this. The topic is yet to be determined. We'll have more information on that in next week's Quick Things, as well as in other means of communication. So that would be on Tuesday, April 28th. We have a First Communion Parents Meeting coming up at 9 o'clock on Sunday. That will be a Zoom event as well. First Communion is scheduled for early May. That probably or almost certainly isn't going to happen, but we have some ideas of how we will have wonderful celebrations as we welcome children to the Lord's table, and some of that will be discussed at that meeting on Sunday. So parents with children in First Communion, be sure you're part of that Zoom meeting at 9 a.m. on Sunday. Our Finance Council met this morning, Thursday morning. Our Pastoral Council meets tonight, Thursday night. Those are Zoom meetings as well. So we're really utilizing the Zoom platform, and our staff has been meeting with Zoom, and it's kind of a fun way to hold a meeting, actually. We may just want to stay with Zoom when we get back to normal, if that ever happens. Also, in terms of the Life Goes On theme, Newman Catholic Schools has a major announcement that will be announced tomorrow. You'll be getting an email. Those who are part of the Newman community will be getting an email regarding that, and we'll have news for the general parish as well as we go forward. So those are the things that are happening. We certainly want to just continue to be attentive in our prayer, our daily prayer, and something that many people utilize are the little books. We finished with the little black books at the end of Lent. Little white books are available. Normally we'd dispense with a couple hundred of these, or several hundred of these on Easter, at the Easter Vigil and Easter morning. Well, when people aren't here, the books don't disappear. But they are in baskets at the entranceway. So if you're passing by or someone is heading this way, be sure to stop and get a copy or several copies for you, for friends, others in your household. And then also near the little white books are copies of Give Us This Day, the April edition. This is a good time to become acquainted with this resource if you aren't already. And actually, if you like what you see, you can subscribe through our parish and get a special discount that's made available to us from our friends that Give Us This Day. It's also available online. The digital edition is being offered free during this time of pandemic, so you can find that links to that on our website as well. So that's kind of what's happening. We've gone through the excitement of Triduum, now kind of getting back into some of the regular aspects of parish life, such as they are these days. I want to conclude with a poem, which is really a prayer. It's by an English poet and priest named Malcolm Guite. It was written in anticipation of Easter. It's titled Easter 2020. And where is Jesus this strange Easter day? Not lost in our locked churches anymore, then he was sealed in that dark sepulchre. The locks are loose, the stone is rolled away, and he is up and risen long before, alive at large, and making his strong way into a world he gave his life to save. No need to seek him in his empty grave. He might have been a wafer in the hands of priests this day, or music from the lips of red-robed choristers. Instead, he slips away from church, shakes off our linen bands, to don his apron with a nurse. He grips and lifts a stretcher, soothes with gentle hands the frail flesh of the dying, gives them hope, breathes with the breathless, lends them strength to cope. On Thursday, we applauded, for he came and served us in 1,000 names and faces, mopping our sickroom floors and catching traces of that virus which was death to him. Good Friday happened in 1,000 places where Jesus held the helpless, died with them, that they might share his Easter in their need. Now they are risen with him. Risen indeed. Amen.